and you're changing the model a little bit, right? I mean, even in terms of after hours or something you're doing later.
Tomorrow night we're starting.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is it for saved folks?
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so we have with us James Khan, entrepreneur, restaurateur, developer, consultant, father.
Yeah, you go in the backwards order of that, and that's how the father,
Okay.
husband.
That's that, yes, because that's what you're probably,
and son, right?
Father,
Well, probably son first.
Son.
Of God.
uh-huh.
Then a husband, then a father. Is where I want to be. All the other stuff is just something to do. So
Something to do.
something to do. I think people. So we're gonna just jump in.
Jump
Just
in.
jump in. So I think people elevate titles more. I don't like titles. I never really have. And people tend to elevate people with a title. You know, Pastor Karen, this is meant with disrespect, but a pastor. You get elevated amongst people as, you know, and you get higher expectations placed on you than the average person, right? And president or CEO or entrepreneur or restaurateur, whatever you want to call it, lead artist, you know, or athlete, whatever the case may be. If society has placed some sort of value in that position, then you somehow are expected to be better, smarter than other people, but I won't speak for you two. I'm not, you know, like, so I just happen to be doing this particular role in those businesses where there's 229 people doing different particular roles that are probably more important than the role that I'm doing. So I don't like the titles, you know, personally. So.
Wow, isn't he a humble piece of pie? It's the truth, and I forgot to say philanthropist.
Yeah, I don't like that title either.
It's the truth. It's the truth. I mean, obviously, to know you is to love you, and you and my husband have developed an amazing friendship, and just hearing about just all the work that you do, and just seeing glimpses of that is quite extraordinary. And I know you don't want flowers, and so we're not going to go on and on. And so we go change up real quick. Okay, quick rapid fire.
I'll say this: like,
okay,
I'll take the flowers and give them to God, right? So
come on,
like,
pass them to God.
Right. So like, there's a reason He put me there, but it's His reason, not for me. So like, if I can take the accolades that people give me and say, "All right, God, this is yours," you know, I'm just a person that takes it from wherever it was to give it to Him. You know, hopefully, like in the most ideal of settings. You know, I'm still human. Like, you call me humble, but I think I'm arrogant, and so like we have to like.
It's all relative, though, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because you're not arrogant. I mean, maybe if you're like playing maybe ball or
chess or something.
Chess. There you go. There you go. So, but for those people that don't know you. Who is James Khan?
I do like to say I'm Erica's husband. I'm Niyoki and Cairo's father. I'm a child of God. And those are the things that really have value for me. My family, my uncles, my aunts, cousins, my mom, my father. That's the only identity I really, really want. And hopefully that the people that I'm in this community with or a circle with, I know they make me a better person, so I just pray that I'm making them better people as well. So. Well,
let's do some rapid fire, because the inquiry minds just want to know. Of the restaurants that you have, what's your favorite?
Well, it's like children. Like, they're favorites for different reasons. So.
I knew you would give a diplomatic answer. Smart guy.
So Baker Street's my favorite just because it was my first opportunity.
Tell us about it.
So it's fine dining, steakhouse, definitely a kind of a special occasion environment. And I had the opportunity to go there as the business was failing. I mean, it should have closed, and the real philanthropist, the real entrepreneur that bought it and gave me an opportunity to say, hey, I bought this business. It was failing. Why don't you come and run it? If you fix it, you can pay me back, and then I'll give it to you. And that's the short version of how I started as an entrepreneur. Somebody else who was extremely successful in life and financially said, hey, I got nothing really to lose. I don't want to see these people lose their jobs. Give it a go. And so that was I was 29 years old when I had that opportunity.
Wow.
And it was an amazing chance. I had great mentorship from Doug Wood and his wife Patty, and we shook hands on that deal. And
shook hands.
We shook hands. I was helping him, like consulting for him, and he kept like nudging. He finally was like, "What's your deal, man? Like, what's your problem?" And he ended up paying off all my debt to make me feel comfortable in leaving my steady job. And then he shook my hand. He said, "Hey, if you pay me back, I'll give it to you." And 4 years later, and over $1 million transacted to him, so he was making money. He's like, "All right, it's yours."
Wow.
And nothing to bind him to that commitment other than his word. And that right there is a huge testimony and a huge legacy for me to be able to uphold, to say, all right, I'm going to make my word more valuable than any contract.
Wow.
If I say it, then I want it to be what happens. Or, because I'm still human and I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I can say and speak about what's going to happen, but if I say something and then something changes, I want to be the one to come back and be like, hey, I told you this, but for these reasons, this is what happened, and how do I atone for this? Please forgive me. Because we all speak into things that we really don't know. We can't know what tomorrow brings. So.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so Baker Street probably is, if you really want a favorite, it's probably Baker Street because that's where I started, and it was a monumental task, and by God's grace, we succeeded.
Yeah, and you're changing the model a little bit, right? Even in terms of after hours or something you're doing later.
Tomorrow night we're starting.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is it for saved folks?
I'm gonna go. So I believe I'm saved.
So tell us about it.
It's just really trying to offer a different atmosphere. So a long time ago, you might have Blue Tomato used to have a Friday night thing. So it's not going to be quite what that turned into. So that turned into, it's maybe started as like a safe folks jazz environment and turned into a you might want to get out of here kind of environment. We're not trying to get people turned up in there. We just want to have relaxed atmosphere. So I was at an event right before this. I don't know if you know Eric and Heather.
Yeah.
So I was at an event with them, and Eric's sons, Braxton and Maxwell, are both very accomplished musicians.
Oh.
So I was talking to them about being our musicians for the next event. So it would be a 16-year-old and 13-year-old.
Wow.
That would be the band. So I would say that's
They're that young.
They're
I
that
didn't
young.
realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's maybe my plan for the second one. This one, I think there's like 90 tickets sold so far, so it seems like more than what we expected. So it's just, the goal is to offer something different and to put a different spin on the restaurant. So make it more inviting, I guess. So.
Well, we plan to definitely support it. We are out of town tomorrow with our nephew that is doing some football stuff. I think his last game for football in this season, and he's already has an offer to go play, football and all the thing. And so it's a big.
That's a big deal.
Big deal for our family, and so we're gonna visit him tomorrow. But we definitely want to support you because, again, you are amazing. Yeah. So tell me, let's talk about. So that's the restaurants. People also want to hear about the new development project. Before I know we want to give you time to impart as well, but I want to talk about some of the things you're doing because you're really doing some remarkable things in our city.
Well, I think that so we have a 200-acre land development, the Villages of Arneo. We're, I think, getting past the halfway point right now, where we've got 91 lots that are developed. We have, as of today, 44 of them committed. So we're way above our pro forma schedule. which is really exciting. And we've got a purchase agreement for one parcel on the commercial. So it's a mixed use development. So it's residential, commercial, retail, all in one space. Quality of living, there's 40 acres of woods and trails and a river and parks and cart paths and connectivity between future coffee shops and probably future Baker Street and the residents. Plus it'll be different housing types, so apartments, townhomes, condominiums, and single family residences. So really excited. On the commercial side, like I said, we have a Back Nine, which is like a Topgolf type facility coming. They've signed their purchase agreement, and then we're negotiating, I think pretty close with either an apartment developer out of Indianapolis, who I really like, or we have meetings today about, like, do we do the apartments ourselves, and which is just more stress, and but I'm trying to make sure that the people that invested in this development are definitely getting their money back, but hopefully getting a return on that. So we're trying to make big decisions. So yeah.
Well, and I know you to work out at 5 a.m. or so, because you work out with my husband.
Yeah.
How do you balance it all for those that are trying to start like businesses and they still may have a full-time, or just wearing different hats, doing so many things? Do you feel like you can be impactful, spread that thin? How do you manage it all? What are you doing to?
I think that today I'm not managing it well, if I'm being honest with myself. So I'm overcommitted to things, and I have a heart to want to be involved and help people, and a heart to want to do my best at whatever I'm doing. I'm very much a homebody. My best childhood memories, we were not wealthy, but my family all immigrated. On my father's side, my family immigrated to America in 1989. 3 uncles, 2 aunts, my grandfather, grandmother. My dad was the oldest in his family. My 3 uncles are the youngest 3. And so the distance in age between me and my youngest uncle is 9 years.
Wow.
So I really enjoyed going up to visit them. And we would go, and in like a 1,600 square foot house, we'd have about 40 or 50 people for the weekend. And one bathroom.
What?
One bathroom. And it was just packed. People sleeping on the floor, sleeping everywhere, in the kitchen floor. I mean, like, but those are my best memories. Just being around all my family, and, waking up early, and then like fighting to get into the bathroom. And, it was nuts, but I just love being around family. So I think that that's how I'm built. And I wanted like 6 kids. My wife, we didn't have 6 kids. So not because she didn't want 6 kids. We just didn't have 6 kids, right? So the 2 that we have, I love being around. They're like
2 girls, right?
2 girls. My brother and his wife, they have 3 boys. So we vacation together, and we get time together with them. So I get to like throw them around, and get my man fix, fighting and that kind of stuff. But I just love being around family. So I'm excited. This Thanksgiving, we're hosting almost 80 people at my house for Thanksgiving. Wow. So I am so stoked for that. My wife is the opposite of so stoked. So
I would probably
yes.
Wayne on her side, and Jay would be excited like you.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But she loves me. She loves me, so she's, I think, still gonna do it. We'll see. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's making me sweat just to think about it. It's like a lot of stimuli. Like, that would be
You're probably like her. You want everything to be perfect,
yeah.
And I think in my family we could care less. Like, we came from that, sleeping on the kitchen floor. It doesn't really matter, but I can't really impart that onto my wife. She wants it to be perfect, and I love her for it, and it's her love language, taking care of people. But I keep trying to tell her, my family don't care. Like, they'll sleep in the car if they have to. Like, they just want to be around and hang out. So,
and that's after you do what, though? Like, I think you had something going on earlier. on Thanksgiving Day, right?
Thanksgiving Day, yeah, we'll feed those in need at Baker Street. We've done it. See, Niyoki is 19,
Wow.
so we've done it for 12 years. So 2 years. We started when she was 5, and then we took 2 years off because of COVID. But for 12 of the last 14 years, we have fed 300 to 500 people, and it is the best holiday. It's just volunteers. The restaurant's closed. But a lot of these people, I mean, not only have they not gone out to eat probably in a long, long time, but they certainly haven't gone out, sat down with like china, silverware, had people wait on them, and that's how we do it. We have kids and families. You guys have come and volunteered, and it's just a very fulfilling opportunity to love on people. And you know, they get a lot out of it. We get way more. So.
Good. So there's still a lot of people that were asking me to ask you questions, like, you know, I want to know this, I want to know that. So one of the main things is just how you are such a multi-talented and multi-diverse entrepreneur, right? And what advice would you give for someone that is trying to start their own make their own widget service? What advice would you give them to get started?
I think you've got to get your ego out of your way, right? So I was this person, and I knew so many people like this, and I meet so many people like this that are like, they're not the best worker at the place. If you're not the best worker at your McDonald's, then what business do you have being an entrepreneur? Ooh. Right? So like a lot of people have a mentality of like, man, well, when it's for me, I'll do that. Well, that's like in sports, if you're at practice and you're just kind of like half-hearted running your routes and you're doing whatever, and you're like, on game day, I'm going to do it. No, you're never going to get a chance, because you're not putting in the effort when it doesn't matter. Or it really matters the most there. And so when you have the opportunity, you won't be ready for it. Like you couldn't, I'll give an example. I have a friend that wanted me to do a triathlon. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it with you. I didn't run, I didn't bicycle, and I didn't swim. Ooh. And I was like, we'll figure it out. I'm a competitor. And so the triathlon starts with the swim. And we got in this lake, and I started swimming against the waves, and we're swimming and swimming and swimming. We had to swim out to this raft and swim back. It was only 400 yards, okay? So I was swimming with my heat, and I don't know how much time went by. It felt like about 7 or 8 hours. Wow. You know? But I looked up, I was like, man, I'm tired. I looked up, and my heat was going away from me. I looked back, and I was like 3 feet from the beach. I was like, oh my gosh. I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna drown. And like the lesson I didn't prepare for that. So when I had the opportunity to succeed, I failed because I didn't have the endurance, right?
So you're saying that's when the ego came in, because how did you think you would do that? You just were like, okay, I'm athletic enough, I can just do it.
I had the mentality that like, I'm not a quitter. So I won't quit. I didn't quit, but I mean, there was moments I was like, there's a dude in a kayak next to me, making sure I don't drown, but I thought I'm gonna drown, like in this lake with all these people around me. So my point is to say that if you haven't learned how to come to work early, stay to work late, do a job that's not yours, like give 100%, when you're working for McDonald's, or when you're working for Raytheon, or when you're working at the church, wherever you're at, if you haven't learned that tenacity to put your ego aside when it's not your job to pick up the water that somebody left, right? And do it when you're the entrepreneur at your business and the people don't do it, it's on you. And you'll ultimately fail because you didn't build up the endurance, you didn't practice for somebody else. And people think that when it's for me, I'll work harder. Like, no, you have to learn how to work hard for somebody else if you're ever gonna have the opportunity to succeed for yourself. So that to me is the biggest thing. We want to develop entrepreneurs, but we aren't developing hard workers. Like, be a tenacious worker. Be the absolute best where you are, despite, like, I agree with you, it's not fair. I agree with you, the people around you aren't working as hard. I agree with you, you're underappreciated. I don't care. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna work hard, and it's not gonna be fair, and you're gonna be underappreciated. And you're gonna be the one that's not going with the paycheck. Like, if money is short, I have to pay you. before I pay me. Or you're not gonna show up tomorrow, my job gets even harder, right? I have no hope of getting out of that difficulty if I'm losing employees because I'm not paying them, right? So if you haven't built up that skin to say like, I'll work through this for somebody else, you're never gonna make it for yourself. I don't care how good your widget is. So that to me would be the number one advice I give to a budding entrepreneur.
Such good advice.
Yeah.
Well, we know that God is like a providential God, and He has, even within our marriage and even the ways and the reasons why I came back to Fort Wayne, because I was in Nashville before I came back to Fort Wayne, and just, it's too long to get into my story, but just seeing His direct hand on my life in terms of where I am, how He connected me with certain people,
Right.
Even where I am currently with the employer that I have. And so I just wonder, what for you, has there been a moment that you said, this was God's direct divine intervention or His hand on my life because I am out of this particular situation? Or so I'll let you just expound on that.
So, honestly, so many. I feel like I can look back at the things that God has done and be like, yeah, there. I mean, even just like the Baker Street story, and I don't know another business owner that was gifted a business,
Exactly.
So, and that's just one. But Hopping Home, I had a different person do a very similar thing, create an opportunity out of nothing for no reason. Didn't make financial sense for him. It wasn't the intelligent thing to do for him, but he did it for me. John Nichols, he did that for me. Tim Ash for Proximo did the exact same thing. Hopping Home exists because John Nichols did something stupid in order to help me. Proximo exists because Tim Ash did something stupid in order to help me. Gnome Brewing exists because John Nichols again did something stupid to help me. Arneo exists because John Nichols again did something stupid in order to help me. So, and I say stupid. I mean, they made decisions to invest financially in things that didn't make sense to invest financially in, right?
Yeah.
And not to the tune of, $5 or $50 or $100,000, but literally millions of dollars have been invested into me by people who shouldn't have, right? I'm a kid from a trailer court over here, that dropped out of college.
Jesus.
And people can say, and people do say, oh, you worked really hard. I'm like, no. There's no amount of work that deserves the opportunities I've been given, right? So it's only because God worked in their hearts to give me that opportunity, right? And I mean, that's in business. I can say
So good.
in life, my mother-in-law is the person who brought me to Christ. So she was a frequent guest of Biaggi's, and she came in, and she's the one that while I was working, witnessed to me, the last person to witness to me, I suppose, before I accepted Christ. My mother-in-law tricked me into meeting my wife. I mean, tricked me, 100%. She was telling me, you gotta meet my daughter, I'm like, no, you crazy. Your daughter probably looked like Freddie Jackson. And then, she did the whole Hallmark thing when she came into dinner. It's like, oh, I got stood up. Would you have dinner with me? So I sat down, and then 10 minutes later, Erica comes in. I was like, oh my gosh. And then, we became friends. And then even that, we were friends for years, and I had given up on a chance to ever date her, and I was just like, okay. I called her, and I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna date somebody. We were friends. I was just telling her as a friend. And she's like, no, you're gonna break up with her. God has told me, you and I are meant to be together. I'm like, no, you're crazy. And then she drove 6 hours and was like, go break up with that girl now. And then, stood there till we broke up. And then I broke up with this poor lady, came back, and she's like, you wanna go to dinner? We go over to Stevie's house, and that was the beginning of our relationship. And but that's God putting something on her heart, And if you've seen my wife and you see me, you realize that's a God thing, because I didn't deserve this shouldn't have pulled that. So it's definitely a God thing. So so I could just go on. I feel like I have got like so many different stories of how God. I feel like He stopped short of showing up as a pillar of fire, But I can look back and say like, oh, that was you. Thank you. In my personal life, in my spiritual life, in my business life. So yeah, I probably should just write a little short book about it.
I think you should.
There's a whole bunch of different stories.
So you don't take the mental health breaks. You kind of slid over that. So your health is good.
Sorry,
You're not doing mental health stuff. No counselors or.
I look at my tribe of people as my counselors.
I love that.
So like I'm transparent and honest with the people, the men especially in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm open to receive their wisdom. So when they start talking to me about what they see, I listen to it. And that is, I think, is my mental health rejuvenation. Physical health, I'm trying to get there. So it's been a long year. I had a little tiny scare with cancer and, came through that super quick. That's another, talk about God. I shouldn't have found out that I had cancer at all.
Exactly.
Right? And happenstantially find out that I had cancer, get connected with the right doctor, is able to perform a surgery and remove all of it. And who goes from finding out you have cancer to being cancer-free in 10 months and without
even knowing you had it at first.
You never knew you had it. You didn't have symptoms, and and then you're healed from it, and you're back at it. There's no chemo and no radiation. And it was just toot. And that's a miracle. And I see why it was kidney cancer. And I yesterday was talking with a man who was just diagnosed with kidney cancer. And so I had 2 hours of time to pray with him and talk with him and encourage him, like, hey, this is something that you'll get through. And I shared with him what God had did for me. So I see the purpose for those things. And that's, to answer your mental health thing, like that it fills my cup to realize that the things that I go through are purposeful. So, yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. So you've given us so many little nuggets along the way. Is there anything else that you want to leave with our audience? What would you tell the viewing audience and the audience here?
Well, you asked me to have a scripture, so I have a scripture.
Oh, you did your homework.
I did do my homework.
Okay, good.
I tend to cram.
I was asking Chase, did he read my email? Was he too busy to do his homework?
I read yours. I can't. So Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as if you're working for the Lord, not for human masters." So I kind of alluded to it earlier when I was talking about entrepreneurism and what you have to do. But so some of the young men that I mentor just won a state championship, so in soccer. And I asked them last night, do you feel, they had an undefeated season, right? And won a state championship. First time a school in that class has ever done that. So I asked them last night, they won on Friday. I said, do you feel deflated, disappointed? Do you feel like let down? And they both said yes. And I said, when did that happen? And the one who played the whole game, he's played the whole season, was like within seconds of after winning, I felt let down. And I said that this is an attack on you, but I told him like that might be an indication that you put too much value in winning the state championship, right? Because you've achieved it and then it's over and now the feeling is gone. It wasn't that you might have been thinking you were doing it for the Lord, right? But you might have been doing this for yourself or for some sort of accolade. And I suffer from the same thing. That's my indicator. So if I get to a major achievement in business, if I get to a major achievement in life and then I have a letdown, then that to me is an indicator, like I put too much value in this material thing, right? Ouch. But it's okay, right? Because then it it teaches us to recognize, like, okay, God, like, what are the ways that I could have been doing this more for you and less for me, right? So, like, if I was going to have a word to say, I would say to do whatever you're doing for God, not for human masters, and to evaluate, to find a system that evaluates whether you're doing that. So, like, in business, you would have a KPI, a key performance indicator, that tells you, I'm doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing, right? If it's church attendance, if it's tithes, if it's sales, or whatever metric you want to measure. So have a metric that measures, like, where your motivation is, if it's for God, if it's for yourself, if it's for the people around you. And I'm as guilty of it as everybody else, right? So we have this development, we get achievements, and I'm like, oh, I feel let down now that that's over. But I wasn't doing this well. I wasn't doing this for you. And so I'm constantly trying to find a way to say, like, how can I glorify your name more and my name less in the things that we do? So,
Wow.
So that's my little couple-minute sermon for you.
With so much going on, I even hate to ask this. What's next?
I really don't know. I want to be open. So we have 40 acres of land that I'm a partner in out southeast, and so we want to do a land development southeast. I have people pushing me to do that, but I don't think I'm ready for it right now. I would like to. I'm reading a book right now called Buy Back Your Time. I just started it this week, and it's hitting me pretty hard on some of the things that I do, and so I want to find some time to learn how to unwind and relax. So the things that you were saying, I was answering them truthfully for now, but it's not my goal for the future. So I say all those things, and I say I want to be open to wherever God leads me. There's a group of people that have been and are trying to get me to get into the political arena, and I just think that is a pit of snakes and vipers that I don't think I'm cut out for. So whatever it is, I just hope that it glorifies God, and that I'm a good steward of it. So my biggest doubt is stewardship. Am I honestly stewarding the blessings God gave me as well as He would expect me to? And the most scary words you could hear ever is, "Away from me, I never knew you." Right? I mean, he said there will be people who are prophesying, who cast out demons, who perform miracles
In my name, yeah.
in my name, and I never knew them. And I've never prophesied, I've never cast out a demon, I've never done a miracle. So those people are way more holy than me, and they
Maybe not.
Right. Well, but they still were told.
The optics are, they are.
They were like deuces, right? So, I'm afraid, genuinely afraid of, like, not doing what God has put me here to do, right? Because that's a scary thought. Like, I bet those people before they died were like, "Oh, he's a great person. He's got a seat like third from the right, like at the table with God," right? And no, they're with weeping and gnashing of teeth. So whatever's next, I pray that it's to God's glory, and I don't know, even today, like, I am unsure if I'm doing things well enough to bring Him glory. So I try to make that's a doubt, and so I try to pray about that and then say, God, just illuminate the purpose that you have for me today.